And the next aspect is, by not accepting gifts, you will understand the secret of birth and death. How you have come into this world. Where from living beings come to this world. Where do they go and merge once again? This knowledge can be got only if you have no obligation with anyone in this world. If something is due from you to others, let it be money or labor or work, nature will never entrust you with the power to understand where from people come into this world. And automatically you will know your previous births, not by way of curiosity, not to conduct the foolish experiments of regression into the past, but only to help you choosing your vocations and activity in this life. And also to have a continuity of purpose through life. A continuation of the work you do. Without having this power with you, the work you do will be cut off by the physical death. And again you have to start from the beginning. But when once you get at this stage, you will be born with the same consciousness of continuity of purpose. And you will do your work through centuries and thousands of years. In whichever body you are once again born, you will take up the same work and continue it. That is what is happening with those whom we call the masters of wisdom. For example, whom we call Master Moria,
Mr. Kuthumi,
Master D.K. Valpur. They are doing the same work of helping humanity since 5,000 and odd years. They were the contemporaries of Lord Krishna when he was here on earth. All the three fellows planned with Krishna for the next 10,000 years. And these fellows are doing the same work even now. For example, Master Kuthumi trained Madame Blavatsky from her childhood. And after a certain age, he appeared to her for the first time in Hyde Park, London, and given her the program of her present life. How to manage with the Theosophical organization, and then entrusted her to Master Valpur, under whose guidance she has written her two great books. So this is what you get when you practice not accepting gifts. And about the second aspect, niyama, if you practice cleanliness, physical and mental, the glamour, your glamour about your body will disappear. That is, having hopes upon the body will go away. And you will understand the body only as your instrument. Otherwise, you will be having hopes about this body, and when the time of death comes to this body, it is always an unscientific and idiotic and ignorant death, and it is always a tragedy. While death is quite natural, it is foolish and idiotic to have a tragedy of death. Unless our glamour towards this body goes in our mind, unless we understand this body in its true and scientific sense, and unless we understand death in the true and scientific sense, it is always a big tragedy and a spell of unpleasantness under which we die. So, unless we are purified from death conditioned mind, we are not free from all the impurities of the mind. So, when you maintain cleanliness of body and mind regularly, gradually you will understand how this body is to be continuously cleaned, how it will be nasty whenever it is not cleaned. And you understand that the body is only a temporary condition. It is not an item, but it is the result of equilibrium. That's why the ancient scientists compared it with a soap bubble. Is there any real existence to a soap bubble? There is soap matter which is not the bubble. There is water which is not the bubble. There is the air which is not the bubble. But all the three put together will form a temporary existence, an equilibrium and a poise which presents the false existence of a third item called bubble. In fact, there are only three items existing in it. One is the soap, the other is water, and the other is air. But this is the fourth thing which is false. The physical body is like that. It is the result of many existences, but it is not an existence at all. And we will not be convinced of this scientific truth, however scientific our mind may be, unless we practice cleanliness and purity, physical and mental. And then our hopes about this body will suddenly disappear. Because real hope should be with the work we do and not the body. But since we place our hopes on our body, then whenever we die with great despair, even though we have died many thousands of times in the past. We weep and we feel sorry like dogs and pigs to have a compulsory separation from our loved ones, from the most loved wife or husband, from the children and friends. We will have a merciless cut-off and we feel miserable during the time of departure. It is a miserable journey and we will be saved from this unscientific way of dying. It is the art of dying and the science of death by following cleanliness. Also, we become fit to have a concept of what we call soul, and automatically you will have a mastery over your senses and sense organs. You will have an equilibrium and a mastery over the three qualities of existence. The three qualities are Rajas, Tamas and Sattva. Rajas is activity in you, which is the dynamic aspect. Tamas is the inertia in you, which is the habit forming faculty. Either of the two dominates our mind always. Activity dominates. We are nervous, hyperactive, irritable, angry, and proposing many things to do which are not true. We feel like doing many things which are important. We begin to fancy that many things are important. Instead of waiting for things to come to you, you will begin to run after things and get disappointed and get involved into many circumstances. If the other one is working in you, then you will try to avoid what you are expected to do. You will develop escapism as philosophy. You will find lethargy and laziness. Until there is a poise, we have to
run between these two aspects. One type of difficulty when the activity aspect is dominant, another type of difficulty when the inertia aspect is dominant. When once we touch the 5, we will be able to come out of the 3 and attain a mastery over the 3 states. So, by practicing cleanliness, you will get this aspect, this mastery also. That is Patanjali's opinion about cleanliness.